West Virginia has picked up another wide receiver out of the transfer portal. Let's talk about it. What's going on, Mountaineer Nation? Welcome back into the Country Roads webcast here for our January 25th transfer portal update, as the Mountaineers have added another receiver. And I know you're looking at the position wondering, man, why are we picking up 4 or 5 receivers in this class? But I think something that I've talked about in the previous transfer portal updates here is a lot of the receivers West Virginia's added and a lot of the receivers West Virginia had returning, whether it was Rodney Gallagher, Dom Collins, and then you had guys like Man Singleton, Gerard Bowie. All of those guys believed to be playing, inside receiver in the slot there. Same goes for Cyrus Trawl, probably. So you needed some guys on the outside. That's why Cam Vaughn was such a big addition. You do have Jaden Bray returning who can play on the outside. But then you add another receiver here with a ton of experience that has a lot of experience, and the most of it coming on the outside receiver position. So I think that this is a good pickup, and that's why West Virginia prioritized Jeff Weimer once he entered the transfer portal just a few days ago, about a week or so ago, I believe. And West Virginia picks him up now, gets his commitment yesterday. He'll join the wide receiver room for the Mountaineers in 2025, and we'll talk about him, go over his numbers, some of his stats that are pretty impressive, and I'll show you guys some of his standout plays from his time at Idaho State as well, as West Virginia adds yet another transfer with 1 year of eligibility remaining that we'll discuss momentarily. But before we get there, I just want to give you guys a quick reminder, if you would, hit the thumbs up button on this video. Crazy something to do, but it helps us out a ton with that YouTube algorithm, helps this find more Mountaineer football fans like yourself. And if you are a big-time Mountaineer football fan, can't get enough of the coverage, be sure you're subscribed here to the channel, because we continue to cover the roster as it builds and everything leading into the Rich Rod 2.0 era. We'll be having a ton of coverage coming out here on the channel in regards to the Mountaineer football program, so be sure you're subscribed here if you haven't already. But with no further ado, let's learn a little bit more about the most recent transfer addition for West Virginia, Jeff Weimer. All right, so this came out yesterday evening. As you can see, Jeff Weimer announcing this actually on his Instagram. There is his commitment graphic that he shared there, announcing his commitment to WVU just a little bit over a week from his time when he first entered the portal, and West Virginia made him a priority at that time. And we know West Virginia had been targeting some outside receivers throughout this process, right? We wanted Cam Vaughn, obviously, from the very get-go and thought we had a good chance. Got a little bit worried, and it went on a little bit longer than we had expected, but then you went after guys like Troy Stiletto, David Pantelis, so you were going after, outside receiver guys, and then now you do get another one that enters the portal later in Jeff Weimer, who I think is a really good pickup. And let's look at some of his numbers here as to reasons why, and then I'll show you guys some of his highlights so you can make a judgment call for yourself. But this is from Rivals here, Keenan here at the West Virginia Rivals site, Keenan Cummings with the Transfer 101 on Jeff Weimer. 6'2", 204 pounds. Entered the portal on January 15th, coming off a season where he hauled in 75 passes for over 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns. He was at UNLV in 2022, where he had 278 yards and a touchdown that season before going to Idaho State. He had also played at 2 JUCOs prior to that, and at both of those other JUCOs, 1,000 yards at Hartnell College, and then over 1,200 yards at City College in San Francisco before he went to UNLV, and then Idaho State. So 3 out of the 4 seasons he's played at the college level, he's at over 1,000 yards receiving. So that's good. Double-digit touchdowns a couple of times as well at those other 2 JUCOs. Good size to be on the outside there, 6'2", 204, 5th wide receiver to join the transfer class, as we talked about there. But most of the others, save for Cam Vaughn, believed to be more inside receivers. So you get another receiver that can play on the outside here with his final year of eligibility remaining. As you can see, targeted 122 times last year. So really was one of the main sources of offense for the Idaho State program that he was at there. And, of course, hauling in 75 of those, that's a good reception rate, over 61%, as mentioned in the article there, with 442 of his 550 snaps coming from outside receiver position. So as we mentioned, that's primarily where he will be used, and what West Virginia needed as well was an outside receiver. He caught 8 of 18 contested catches, so that shows some ability there to not only be a good route runner, which is something that I saw when I looked at the tape trying to do some research on him, but you'll see some contested catches. I'll show you a highlight of one, and he also has deceptive speed that you'll see on a long touchdown highlight I'll show here momentarily as well. But really excited about this addition of Jeff Weimer. So let's pull up our transfer portal tracker here on the CRW, add his name to our transfer in list. And as you can see, Jeff Weimer joins the long list of transfers, over 30 names now for the Mountaineers, but he will be like William Reed, the one we talked about previously. He'll be a summer enrollee. He'll be here over the summer and in for fall camp. Most of these others, all 30, as you saw kind of announced by WVU the other day, are on campus. So 30 out of these 32, I do believe, are on campus for spring football, if I'm not mistaken. But Jeff Weimer will join over the summer. And let's take a look at some of his standout plays that'll get you excited from Idaho State. So first up here, how about an 84-yard touchdown? And on it, you see him with a great tracking ability to haul it in over the shoulder, and then really good breakaway speed that you probably weren't expecting. That guy looked like he had an angle on him. He's able to run away from him for an 84-yard touchdown. So you see a little bit of the route running and a little bit of the speed there on this first play here that we're highlighting. We'll see it from another angle here, kind of from the reverse angle and from his time at Idaho State. But you see, great job catching it over the shoulder and great job breaking away for the touchdown on that one. And then this one, as we talked about, hauled in 8 of 18 contested catches. I believe this would be one of them, going up and getting it there. Right over top of the defense, and you're able to high point the football there at 6'2". Not only good size, but good athleticism to be able to high point that football there at Idaho State. See one more look at it here from this angle. Throws it up. That's just kind of a thing of, hey, Jeff Weimer's out there somewhere. Let me throw it up to him. I'm sure Idaho State did that a lot. So there's a couple of plays that stood out there from the Idaho State Instagram reels you can look up. But there you can look up Jeff Weimer has some highlights on his Twitter page that really show some good showcase some good route running there that you can see. He's getting great separation on slant routes. So I think he really looks like he's a good package for West Virginia, especially with the experience he's bringing in with the final year of eligibility. So I like this pickup as a guy that can compete for playing time at the outside receiver position for West Virginia. Will end up on the 2 deep. Just needs to be able to run block good as well. We know that's a key factor in a Rich Rodriguez offense. So see if he's able to do that. I think in addition to the other things we've seen in his game, his ability to high point the football, his deceptive speed, and his route running ability, he's the guy that's going to get playing time in 2025. So those are my thoughts on this latest edition of Jeff Weimer here in our January 25th transfer portal update. But we'd love to hear your thoughts on his pickup or the transfer portal class in general. Be sure to throw those in the comments. Always appreciate those interactions here as we continue to try and grow the CRW community. If you haven't, be sure to hit the thumbs up button before you head out and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support us monthly, you can by becoming a channel member by hitting the join button down below, where you'll get bonus WVU football content for those that just can't get enough. And we really appreciate that support. Helps keep this mic recording and that camera rolling is what I always like to say. And we really appreciate that if you can help us that way. But if you can't, fast, easy, and free way, hit the like button and be sure to subscribe to the channel. Be back in the future to talk more transfer portal updates and roster update videos coming very soon here on the channel as well. So stay tuned for those here on the Country Roads webcast. As always, I'm Jordan Cruz, and until next time, let's go Mountaineers.